Hi everyone, I'm Narelle from Global Weddings, and today we're going to talk to you about top tips for destination weddings. First thing would be choosing your destination. Most couples come to us already knowing what destination they want to have, or they've got a good idea. They're tossing up between 2 or 3 different destinations. So we'll always walk them through a process, have a chat to them about the pros and cons for each country, and then come up with something that will create their dream day. It may have been somewhere that they met. We have a lot of couples that meet on holidays. It could be somewhere that they've been dreaming of visiting. We have a lot of people get married in Bali that have never been to Bali before. Or it could be something that they saw on social media that they've fallen in love with, and they just have to have the wedding looking exactly like that. But we'll always make sure that we change it up a little bit and make it more individual for each couple. Some things to take into account when you are planning is your guests and your guest travel. So things like flights and accommodation. With your flights, make sure you've got low-cost carriers, you've got airlines that fly there quite frequently, and it's affordable for everybody. Also take into consideration how long it takes to get to a destination, because if it's going to be on a weekend, some people will just fly over for 3 nights. So anything that's really under 6 hours is very easily accessible for the weekend. Accommodation, that's one thing that you need to consider, because trust us, your guests will not stay where you want them to. As much as you say, oh, we're going to get a cheap rate or something like that, your guests generally will book something that they want to stay in. So have a few options there for them. And speaking of your guests, the next thing is giving them plenty of notice for the wedding. So most couples will generally plan a year in advance, or sometimes a year and a half in advance. You've got to think about your guests applying for leave and saving up to get to your wedding. People that travel a lot, so you've got frequent travelers and they'll generally plan 6 to 8 months in advance, because it's really not a big deal for their guests to jump on a plane and fly somewhere. We can plan weddings, 3 to 4 months in advance. We don't love to, but if a bride is very good at making decisions, we can absolutely get her to come in, sit with us for a day, bride and groom. We can't discount the grooms here. Come in and sit with us for a day, or, we have a Zoom call, and we can plan a wedding really within a day if you're happy to make decisions. So that is what we would suggest. Venues. And once you have your destination chosen, I think one of the hardest things is, what venue do you get married at? In places like Bali, Thailand, Fiji, there's so many different options to get married, and it all comes down to budget. You need to make sure that the venue that you choose, do your research, but also trust a wedding planner, because they've been there, they know exactly about the venues. You can generally tell online if there's a big enough lawn for the reception. So you need to have a ceremony space, a cocktail space, and then a reception space. We don't really like turning around a venue for the ceremony to then turn it into the reception, because it's a bit messy and you don't want your guests seeing people setting up. That's our last case scenario if we need to do it. We can do inspections for you. So some couples are able to fly over to the destination and have a look at the venues before they decide to get married, or we can do a Zoom inspection for you. So we can have one of our staff over in Bali or somewhere else, one of us on the call with the clients, showing you videos through and walking you through the different areas and things like that. So that's what we find, once you get your venue set, then you're done. You can then work on the decor and things like that. Hiring a wedding planner. Do you need to hire a wedding planner? I think with Australians, it's a bit difficult because they're not used to having a wedding planner, but a lot of our clients from overseas, Americans, absolutely have a wedding planner. It's a really big business over there. Trust us, on the day, you will not regret your decision. We will assist you from your planning, your budgets, your venues, all that local knowledge. We really value add to your wedding day. On your wedding day, though, that's the best thing. We turn up in the morning and, we love to see the brides and grooms when we turn up, and they just kind of like go and breathe a sigh of relief because we're there. And then we take over everything. So you can really relax and just enjoy your day. The girls are getting ready. They're having a little glass of champagne. We always make sure there's music playing. They've got their lunch organised. We're taking care of any family dramas that may happen. We make sure that the boys are out of the pool and getting ready by a certain time, and they don't drink too much. And then, we run it throughout the day. So you're never ever wondering what to do next. We don't like to have those awkward moments where the bride and groom are just like, oh, we don't know what to do. We're there with you the whole day, us and our staff, making sure that you're looked after, your family looked after, everybody feels welcome, everybody feels like they're important. because we know quite often, you know, sometimes parents get a little bit, oh, we haven't been planning anything with this, you know, so we make sure we look after them as well. So we are absolutely worth our weight in gold, and you can look at a lot of our testimonials and things like that, and people will just say, you know, they were able to relax and enjoy your day. Vendors is another big thing that we really recommend that you do your research on. We'll recommend vendors for you. It's very easy for people to put a picture on Instagram and show that this is our work. Well, sometimes you don't know if it's actually their work, but there's so much more to dealing with these vendors. It's things like, you know, your email correspondence, timely responses, turning up on the day on time. You know, like a lot of the venues impose very big cleaning fees if the vendors don't clean up after themselves. And it's also after service. So if something happens, you know, we need to go back to the vendors to get information from them afterwards. It's how quickly they, you know, will get back to us. And especially on the day as well, if we need something that's a little bit different to what we'd ordered or to what they thought it was going to be, just having that flexibility with them to say, come on guys, can you help us out please? You know, we need this, we need that. And they absolutely be like, yes, no problems. So it's not just about, you know, finding a picture on Instagram that you fall in love with. There's so much more to it than that. Dress codes. So many destination weddings are in hot tropical climates. So it is very, very warm outside. If you're wanting to have a more formal wedding, and I really think it's important that you let your guests know what the dress code is. Otherwise, you're going to have people turn up in shorts. Because boys, I don't know what it is, they absolutely love to wear their shorts. So we would say on your invitations, put down tropical formal or summer elegance or tropical elegance. But if you don't want shorts, definitely note down no shorts. Another thing for the ladies is that a lot of the weddings that we do are on grass. So very thin stiletto heels don't really work that well. So you could put down, you know, please note ladies, you know, we recommend to wear wedges or have heel stoppers. So heel stoppers is a great way for them to not sink into the grass. Most people will kick off their shoes when the reception starts anyway and leave them under the table, but it's just for that beginning and that cocktail hour. Budgets. Okay, so everybody has one. You know, we ask some people, what's your budget? They're like, oh, we don't have one. You do, because you probably don't want to spend $500,000. So, and a lot of our clients have no idea how much a destination wedding will cost. And every destination is different. You know, Asia is one of the most affordable destinations, followed by the Pacific Islands, and then you'd be looking at places like Europe. You know, some of the Europe weddings, the prices of the venues really, and florals can send the prices sky high. But just to give people an idea, you know, something in Bali would cost around about 30,000 US, but that would include a villa for 3 nights, you know, with, you know, 10, 12 of your guests. We find that Thailand weddings, a little bit more expensive. So there's not as many suppliers in Thailand as what there is in Bali. So it drives the prices up a little bit. So you're probably looking at around about $5,000 more. Europe. So France and Italy weddings, you're probably going to be looking starting at around your 50,000 US dollars for a really nice wedding there. Like a global weddings. Most people see our work, they know our style. So, you know, those budgets are to give you an idea. The Australian dollar goes up and down like a yo-yo, so unfortunately that really does take into consideration with your final budget. We'll always quote you in the local currency and then convert to Australian dollars and let you know what the exchange rate is so you can work that out yourself. But, you know, catering wise, in Bali and Thailand, prices are around about 130 US dollars per head, and that would be for food and drinks. Drinks for a good 8 hours. We love a free flow package. You know, so sometimes people come to us with budgets of, you know, around $10,000, $15,000, but it doesn't really work because, you know, food and beverage is going to be at least Australian dollars 150 a head. You've got 100 people, you're already at $15,000 before you've got a photographer or anything like that. So, you know, we'll always work with your budget. We'll try and find things to fit into your budget. And then during the planning process, we'll always offer you options. So you may send us a picture of something that you really like the look of, and we can give you a price, and then we'll, if it's over your budget, we'll be like, okay, well look, you don't have to have that. You could go half the size of the florals, or you could use different flowers or something like that. So we'll always work with you on budgets and vendors to make sure you choose the right ones. And our last tip is embrace the culture. You're getting married overseas. You're getting married in a different country. You obviously love to travel, which is why you're getting married in a different country overseas. So put a cultural aspect into your wedding. There are so many amazing ideas you can bring into the wedding styling. and we can use local products. It can be anything from a gift bag to creating something on the day for the table centerpieces. We had one bride do a beautiful barong invitation. A barong is like a Balinese symbol. It's like a face, and you can have a barong dance at the wedding, but the barong dance has gone for a little bit too long and they get a little bit too boring for people, and they tend to turn away. So we always say to people, look, bring the barong in somewhere else. And she had a watermark designed for her invitation, which looked absolutely beautiful. So we'll help you with little tips and ideas to embrace the culture of where you are. You may want to have a pre or post wedding event. So it's something like that we can bring elements of the culture into it as well. We can have satay stands, nasi goreng stands. We can do taco bars, margarita bars, limoncello stands, pizza ovens if you're in Italy. So there are so many things that we'll talk to you about and help you about. So that's it from us today. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll be uploading some more videos very soon. Thanks for listening.